1, 2, 3, go. Oh, yes. Howdy. Yes, it is I, your host, PoGokeRo, here for your Sunday afternoon Redstone Lapis Lazuli. Yes, indeed. So, here I am today. Good morning. Sorry for the late start. I woke up with a migraine this morning, and after puking and taking some pain pills, I tried to get a little bit more sleep. I puked again and ate something and puked, and then I think I slept enough to like make the migraine go away. Yeah, headache so bad you puke. That's why I have to go to bed at 9 o'clock, because no matter what, I'm gonna wake up at 5:30. No matter what time I go to bed, I wake up at 5:30. And so if I don't get enough sleep, I get migraines, and I'm worthless. It's terrible. So yeah, hey, thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. Today I'm using let's see, is it flowing all right? Yeah. I'm using let's see, options, resource packs. I'm using the Vanilla XBR64X skin. So if you ever used an SNES emulator on a computer, you recognize the way the traditional graphics get kind of like upscaled to our modern resolutions. And so this is what's kind of happening with the Minecraft textures, the old school Minecraft textures. I upscaled them. So that's what I'm doing. I'm also using a shader pack. Let's see, what shader pack am I using? Hold on. Options. Videos. Shaders. I'm using BSL shader pack. High profile. So that's pretty cool. I dig the focus, the autofocus, the depth of field. And I'm drinking coffee in the afternoon, so I don't know how that's gonna work out. But hey, here we go. So I was watching another YouTuber, and I forgot the name, who it was. Was it Waddles? I think I was watching Wattles, who made a skeleton spawner, and he mentioned that he cares about the way his skeleton spawner looks. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm Mr. Lazy. I just kind of throw things together. But he's like, no, I'm gonna be fancy about it, which, you know, that's pretty cool because it doesn't take much effort to be fancy. But yeah, I was all in like survival mode. I've got to survive. Well, because I was dying over and over and over again. It was awful. Hard mode is terrible. But with the advent of the skeleton spawner, I also got I found cows to make leather, to make books, so I can start enchanting. So I finally got myself a decent set of armor and a decent set of tools here. They're not perfect, but they're better than they were before. So I think that helps a lot. With all this armor, like, the skeletons don't scare me nearly as bad as before. So, you know, what did I do? I went out and I explored the caves around me. And my goodness, the cave system I found here was insane. You have one ravine over there and another ravine somewhere over here. But there's like two ravines that they meet at the corner. And so, yeah, I wandered a lot and I went through a lot, and underneath this ravine, that dirt is the surface. So over that dirt is water. So yeah, this is kind of crazy. I got a skeleton over there. Ow. You see, skeletons in Java are just so much better. I feel like Java is just more of a fleshed out game. Like, the AI is better. All the creatures are better. The skeletons are smarter. The zombies swarm you. The creepers are really, really temperamental. they blow up over nothing. Yeah, here's the other ravine. See, it's just ravines that are interconnected. Ah! Yeah. See that creeper didn't hurt. Normally, I would have been dead. That would have blown me up. I would be dead. But because of all this awesome armor, like, yeah, you can't hurt me. So I can handle Minecraft a little bit better now. Okay. Oh, see, monsters everywhere. Look at this guy. Punk? That's right. Fall to your doom. Okay. I also wanted to show you more stuff. Where am I? I got lost though. I don't know where. How do I get back? Yeah, right there. Okay. So I found a bunch of. I mean, during this search, I also found a bunch of iron, so that helps a lot. I tricked out my spawner here. It used to be that glass would block light. I mean, you could still see it, but it would block it for the creatures. Now glass lets light through, so I had to cover up the glass to maximize the space where the skeletons could spawn. So that's what they've done. Yep, there's my door. And then with my tools, I can expand my my hallways, my mine shafts, because it was pretty claustrophobic before. So this is pretty nice, having all this extra room, all the space. And then we'll observe even more. So here's my cheesy like start cave. I've cleared out a bit more, and I added some lanterns because all those torches on the ground were ugly. And I made a map. So you can see I've done quite a bit of work around my swamp here. This was all like just swampland until I filled it in with dirt. So I had to make these islands again. but they're back. They're getting together. And this is a crop farm. And over here are our animals. And up there is a big tower I made so I could see where I live. Let's go take a look. So here's my crop farm. It's your basic crop farm. Like you hit the button over here, and the water from the top will come and wash down all the crops. I didn't have any hoppers, so I used water to bring it in. And yeah, let's look at that. Oh, that's right, and we have these guys. So let me get out of here and sleep. Okay. All right. Beautiful sunrise. So this. That's right. Burn, phantoms, burn! Okay, so this is how this works. You press the button, and up there, water flows down, bringing all the crops down here, so I don't have to pick them up. And then the hopper will eventually pick them all up if I don't get too close. And then when you're done, you turn off the water. And then it's all ready to be planted again. However, right after I got done doing this, Silent Whisperer, that guy is great. That guy is awesome. He showed me, or he made a video about another kind of farm you could use, where you use your lucky pickaxe to harvest the crops, and you get even more crops that way, and it's just as easy as this way. So I might do that because it's more effective. I really like Silent Whisperer. That guy is cool. He has a show called Truly Bug Rock, or Bug Rock of the Week. So what he does is he highlights certain bugs in Bedrock to like point to the developers, hey guys, look at this thing I found, look how bad it is. See? So he's like actively helping the community. I really like that. I'm not much of a community guy. I don't really know much about it. I'm not a, I'm a hermit, dude. I don't really hang out with many people, although like I should, but I don't. So I don't know much about hanging out with other people. But Silent Whisperer looks like he's doing something great for Minecraft. And so, even though I moved on to Java because I like Java, like Bedrock, I would like if Bedrock were to improve. And Silent Whisperer is the dude helping that out. So, props to Silent Whisperer. Also, I haven't explored really anywhere around me because I kept dying over and over and over again. And this isn't really a conducive land to searching. So I'm like, yo, I need villagers to trade with. So I found out, but the way you capture villagers and zombies in Java is not the same as it is in Bedrock. In Bedrock, you can slap down a minecart, and monsters will happily jump into the minecart. They'll just happily jump in. Yay, a minecart, yay. Not in Java. In Java, they'd ignore the minecart. They just walk around it. So I had to find another way of capturing zombies where they couldn't hurt me, but I had control over them. So I went to YouTube and I found a video by Thilia Craft. It was a pretty old video, but she made it, and I call this one the Lucky Horseshoe Zombie Conversion Chamber. Conversion Chamber. So right there we have a zombie villager. Her name is Eve. And then we have another zombie villager. His name is Adam. And so these guys are chilling. I'm going to get some more. I'm going to get like Thelma and Louise in here pretty soon. But the way these things work, and Thilia showed me, was like this. You find a zombie that you want to capture. You get his attention. You lead him over to here, and you step on here. And you wait till he almost hits you. You throw up your shield, whatever, and then he's going to step on the plate to keep this open. When he comes in, you're clever, and you'll run around the loop here and open this up, and then close it. And then now he's in there. And then you take these plates off, and you stick it on the next one. And now I have a zombie to convert. However, I need to go to the nether and find a nether fortress to get blaze rods so I can make a brewing stand, so I can make a splash potion of weakness, so I could feed this guy a golden apple and then change him back. That would be great. So hold on, guys, I'm working on it. I just got my armor. So I cleared out the trees and I solidified the ground a little bit more. Before it was solidified, it looked like this. You can't really build on it, you can't really walk on it. It's pretty awful. So yeah, I've just been using my extra dirt to fill it in. And let me tell you, man, dirt goes quick. I lose a lot of my dirt. I used a lot of my dirt with this, and then patching up creeper holes. There's creeper holes all over the place. They blow up dirt like nothing. Oh man, they destroy dirt. But that's just the way it is. So here's another little island. And then when you go down there, it turns to swampland. Oh, geez, awful swampland. So I gotta fill this in to increase my area to work on. Alright. So here are my animals. Pigs, sheep, cows, chickens. Oh yeah, and I was attacked by zombie skeletal archers, and they left their horses here. Yay! I've got a bunch of horses now. But look at the great thing about horses, these skeletal horses, is they don't kick you off in the water. They just ignore water. They act as if water's not even there. Which is perfect for going through a swamp because there's water everywhere. So it would be really hard on a regular horse to do this because they would always kick you off. So this is actually a bonus that I have a skeletal horse because he doesn't breathe. Yay! Thank you, skeletal horse. Pretty slow though, right? Look how slow this guy is. But whatever, he doesn't drown, so I like it. Alright. So, one more thing to show you. So I made this new elevator back here to take you to the top of the ridge. And I made a big tower. Just so I could see where I live from the other side. Because when I was like wandering around, I couldn't find my home anymore because look at my home, you can't see it, it's invisible. So I made a big tower. That will help me find my home. I cleared out some trees from the forest. I died many times back here to the mobs because, you know, hard mode. Oh. And so, yeah, it's just hilly stuff everywhere. All right. Yep, I'm gonna make a real elevator here eventually, but there's just a lot to do. This is a lot, and like, I'm not even sure what I'm doing most of the time. I'm wandering, I run around until I notice something, and then I fix it. So yeah, that's looking down on my house. You can't even see my house. That's what I'm talking about. I need this tower to see where I live. If you're on a ridge up there, you can't see anything over here. So eventually that's going to be a building, and then eventually that's going to be a building. And then I'll probably build another bridge over to that island and start filling in that island too. And then so I'll slowly fill in the swamp, connect all the islands in the swamp. And on this side, I don't even know what that is. I don't know. But I'm going to probably make a village here because I keep catching zombies. That'll be fun. And gold chest place, go away. Yay. Okay. So yeah, that's Minecraft. That's what I've been doing. That's why I have not been sleeping. I've been doing this nonsense for days, dude. It's so much easier to come into Minecraft world where everything's clear and clean. Like, everything's 1 by 1 meter, a meter cubed. Everything fits. Everything's just it's, when you want to change it, it's just really easy. Oh, it's so much nicer here than the real world where things are messy. Oh man. So here, let's start talking about stuff. All right, my number one concern right now is I do not want war with Iran. I do not want war with Iran. I do not want war. No war, no war, no war. No war with Iran. Iran. No war with Iran. Don't do it. Don't do it because that's not going to help anything. And the thing is that I'm watching this happen, and it's so obvious what they're doing because they've done this plan many times before. The reason why the Spanish don't have Cuba anymore is because one of our ships blew up near Cuba. It was like the Maine, the USS Maine. It probably blew up because of coal dust, but the U.S. government used that explosion as an excuse to attack Spanish-occupied Cuba and take it over. So that happened. That's one thing the U.S. did. Another thing the U.S. did was they moved over some ships into the Gulf of Tonkin by Vietnam in order to bait the Vietnamese into attacking them to give the United States pretext for entering the Vietnam War. Well, the Vietnamese didn't attack, but that didn't matter because they just made it up. The U.S. just made it up. They just lied. And they made a lie, and they got the United States involved in the Vietnam War. Again, let's move forward. Iraq. So George H.G. Bush, or whatever, Bush 1, the first Bush. He had Operation. Okay, so the deal was there was what was it? It was, who was that little town? Kuwait? Is it Kuwait? It must be Kuwait. Kuwait is a little country next to Iraq, and the United States was the security guarantor of all those oil dictatorships. The United States put many of those people into power and said, hey guys, we want you to work the oil a certain way of our market. And if you do that, we'll make sure you stay in power. We'll make sure you're cool. Does everyone understand what the deal is? And all the dictators are like, yeah, sure, USA, sure, Uncle Sam. Well, Kuwait. Kuwait had its little oil field, but I think Kuwait was drilling sideways into Iraq to take the Iraqi oil. In Kuwait, but drill sideways to get the Iraqi oil. So Saddam Hussein went to Bush and say, hey guy, these guys are taking our oil, they're stealing our oil. Can we go and do something about this? So the United States says, yeah, sure, Saddam, go ahead, go take care of that. Well, something got mixed up in the exchange, and Saddam Hussein heard, sure guy, take over the country. So Saddam Hussein said, okay, sure. So he went and he took over Kuwait, just took it over. So the Kuwaitis are like, so the United States thought that Saddam Hussein was only going to get rid of those oil rigs that were stealing his oil. They didn't know he would take over the entire country. So when he did, the Kuwaitis were like, hey, Uncle Sam, you're supposed to guarantee our safety. What the hell is going on here? What is this? What are you doing? You got to fix this, Uncle Sam. So Uncle Sam, the United States is pretty embarrassed because they're supposed to be keep everyone calm, and look, someone just acted crazy on their watch. So in order to show its power, Uncle Sam, the United States, had to really, really, really come down hard on Saddam Hussein. So they did, right? They did Operation Desert Shield, and they kicked out the Iraqis from Kuwait, and it pushed them back into a no-fly zone. But Bush Sr. knew better. He knew better than to go into Iraq. He's like, no way am I going into there. That's a mess. If I go into there, that's a can of worms. That's just a bunch of ugliness. I don't want to do anything. I just want to make sure that things are enforced. Saddam stays where he is, the Kuwaitis stay where they are, and things, maintain the status quo. That's all he wanted. W. Bush comes into power later on with the neocons, with John Bolton. So neocons have this idea of the new American century, where America destroys all of its enemies and imposes its own world order on things. So these guys are crazy. These guys are incredibly stupid. So they think, well, we can do this. We can take over Iraq. No problem. 9/11 happened, and they traced back the hijackers to Saudi Arabia. So they attack Afghanistan and found Bin Laden over in Pakistan. Oh my God. But in the meantime, W. Bush is like, I got a hard on for that Iraqi oil. I'm gonna go take it. But we need a reason to invade. So hey, let's just make stuff up. So they made up a bunch of stuff. They just lied about stuff. Oh yeah, Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction. Oh my God, yes, and he's obtaining a nuclear weapon. Oh yes, he's getting yellow cake uranium from Africa. We gotta do something. And people are looking like, no, you're not. I think missed the key. I think Joe Wilson was in the CIA or something. He had information, and he's like, oh yeah, no, you're totally wrong. I wrote this paper, and we contradict everything you're saying, government. So what does George W. Bush do? What does Dick Cheney do? He's like, oh, you're talking crap about us? Hey everyone, Joe Wilson's wife is in the CIA as a covert operative. Yes. The Bush administration outed a CIA operative as retribution for coming out against the Iraq War, for contradicting all the fake evidence that the Bush administration had offered. And so that happened, and then they went to war anyways with this fake evidence. And of course, it was an awful thing, right? Look, that led to ISIS. That led to all sorts of terrible things. So yeah, they lied about that too. The United States lies all the time to get into war. All the time. All the time. So now we're at modern day, and the Americans are like, oh look, the Iranians, they put these mines on these oil tankers. They must want a war. We have no choice but to attack them. And the owner of the Japanese oil tanker is like, no, we didn't see mines. We saw something flying and then shooting it. And the Iranians are like, no, dude, we didn't do nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. But so like, yeah, there's no clear picture. And then they got oh, we have a video of them doing this. It's like, oh yeah, no timestamp, no nothing. That's weird. The Americans, not the Americans, the fascists, the coup plotters, the invader people, they're the ones who have taken over the country and trying to push us into war again. And why? Because Donald Trump told you why. Because that's the way he preserves his presidency. Donald Trump knows the moment he leaves office, he's going to prison. He will go to prison. The moment he leaves office, he goes to prison. I think it's pretty stupid that a president can't be indicted. That's a dumb rule. I think we should get rid of that rule, because that's a dumb, stupid rule. Because yeah, now he's got a perverse incentive never to leave office. So that's going down, guys. That's what's happening. That's part of what's happening. Don't blow up! Don't blow up! Make a mess of my place. There you go. Yeah, I'll get you, Enderman. Let me find a Enderman plot spot. Haha. Protected by the tree. That's right. I love trees. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. That one. Yeah, Ender Pearl over to the guy. No. Looking for my fishing rod. There it is. So Trump is trying to start a war to preserve his presidency. And it's dumb. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. Because it's just going to get a bunch of Americans killed. It's going to get a bunch of Iranians killed for no reason. I mean, it's just, there's no reason. You're not going to win. The United States can't win unless it drops a nuclear bomb, and then that's the end of the world. Like, that's dumb. There's no such thing as tactical nukes, dude. You cannot do a tactical nuke. If you use a nuke is a nuke, and if you shoot a nuke, everyone's going to shoot nukes, and it's the end of the world. Don't do it. Don't do nukes. Don't even think about it. That's why I'm trying to get you Americans to wake up, guys. I'm amazed at how little people actually know about what's going on. And I mean, it's not really amazed. I mean, I see why. Our American society has created a situation in which a lot of people are struggling just to survive. If you are struggling just to survive, you do not have time to participate in democracy, to understand what's going on in the world around you, to even care. Like, I gotta make rent. I don't care what the president's doing. I'm just trying to not be homeless. Or I'm trying to afford my insulin. I don't care what the president's doing. I'm just trying not to die. So, okay, I understand why a lot of you Americans are not in the position really necessarily to understand what's happening. And I'm trying to let you know, but I'm just one guy. And then our mass media is like lame. Our mass media is the one that helped Trump come to power because they're so lame. They just like repeat and reinforce Trump over and over and over again. And that's fascism. And then what does Trump do to give them thanks? He calls them the enemy of the people. Media, wake up, dude. That guy is not your friend. There's no nice way of reporting about him. He's a bad guy. Trump is a bad guy. He's a Russian asset. Don't even stop trying to be nice to him. Like, you're failing your readership by trying to do this both sides neutral observation. No, it's not there. He's a fascist. Here's how little that Americans know about stuff. We have concentration camps right now in this country. We are housing immigrants, migrants, and refugees in outdoor pens. They're pens. There's no shelter. There's no tents. It's a big caged pen outside in the heat with no shelter, where they just wait for months at a time until they're processed. Like, that's a concentration camp, and people don't know what's happening. Or if they do know, they don't believe it can be that bad. Oh, it can't be that bad. No way, no way. It is, dude. It is. It's that bad. I'm telling you. I mean, I'm not going out there, out in the street every Saturday, out to the market, looking like a fool for like 2 summers because it's fun. It's because there's some major stuff going on. There's major stuff going on that people need to be aware of. Because if you're not aware, then you can't make any changes. You can't change your behavior. Yeah, people just don't know. People just don't know that we have concentration camps. So, okay, but let me give you an example of how I come under attack by Nazis. So you have to understand, there's a lot of Nazis inside the United States. Nazis, white supremacists, Confederates, whatever. You know, it's the same thing. They're fascists. There's a lot of them in this country, the United States. But they're hidden. They hide themselves, right? They don't want to come out, because if they come out in open, then they'll get attacked too. So I stand out there. I'm out in the open. I hold a sign saying how open I am. But the Nazis around me are hidden. So they can attack really easily. One way that they did it. So I was outside holding my sign Saturday at the market, and this older white dude with a bald head came up to me and acted like he wanted to talk to me. More coffee. He acted like he wanted to talk to me. I'm like, that's cool. He's like, so why? He's like, explain your sign. Your sign says impeach Trump. Can you explain that to me? Why would you want to impeach Trump? And I'm like, all right, this guy sounds like he is talking to me in good faith. It sounds like he really wants to know what's going on. So I'll be cool, and I'll talk to him. And so I'm like, well, as you know, the Robert Mueller's report was released. I'm like, what's the Robert Mueller report? What's that? And I'm like, oh, you don't know the Robert Mueller report? That should have been my first clue, because everyone knows about the Mueller report by this point. Everybody knows. So by him saying, "Oh, what do you mean?" that should have been my first click that he was a hidden Nazi. He was just pulling my leg. He knew exactly what everything was about. He was trying to catch me in a trap. So, but I didn't catch it. I didn't hear it. So I'm like a dummy. I'm like, oh, you don't know Robert Mueller's report? Let me tell you. So I'm like, there's been a 2-year report of about his stuff, and it's so bad that Donald Trump has concentration camps. And the man's like, no, concentration camps? I'm like, yes, real concentration camps. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I mean, what happens is these refugees and migrants come into the country, get apprehended by the Border Patrol. The parents are separated from the children. The children are put into concentration camps. Right now, the United States is using an old Japanese concentration camp. You know, the internment in World War II, where the American government kidnapped a bunch of Japanese Americans, stole all their property, and concentrated them on little camps around the country? That's what they're doing again. They reopen those camps. The United States government reopened those camps. They take all the property of the migrant families, they separate the children from the parents, then they deport the parents back to anywhere. They just get rid of the parents. So then the migrant kids are stuck here with no parents, no anything. They're orphans now. And the man said, oh my gosh, well, where are the parents? Ding! That was the second hint. I should have heard it, but I didn't. I mean, I just told you, dude. They separate the parents. I ship the parents back. And then he's like, oh, but the parents are here illegally. And I'm like, no, dude. It's not illegal to seek refugee status, number one. Number two, Even if you're here illegally, it doesn't warrant being locked up. No, we never did it before. In fact, a report just came out that shows we are currently at a 10-year low for immigration, for illegal immigration. 10-year low. We're at a high point in 2006, and from 2006 it's been going down and down and down. So right now in 2019 we're at a low point. Donald Trump cannot handle the flow of migrants at a low point. W. Bush handled it. Trump handled, or Obama handled it, but Trump, with the lowest amount, can't handle it. Instead, he has to resort to concentration camps. What the hell is up with that? So I was telling this guy, and the guy was like, but they're here illegally. I'm like, no, dude, they're not here illegally. They're here because they're refugees. Do you know what's happening in Guatemala? The weather is so messed up that they're a bunch of subsistence farmers in Guatemala. That means the food you grow is what you eat. And if you don't grow food, you don't eat. That's what it means to be a subsistence farmer. And that's what Guatemala is. And the weather, because of climate change, has been so messed up in Guatemala, they can't seem to grow crops anymore. So what their choice is either send your family to America to try to get money to send back to the country so you don't starve to death, or you just starve to death. That's your choices. And this guy said, oh, but they're here illegally. And I'm like, dude, they're fleeing refugee crisis. It's a crisis of refugees. They're here for help. And he says, but where are the parents? And then he starts smiling. I'm like, they're in concentration camps. And then he starts smiling. And that's when I started realizing he was a Nazi. He was getting off on this. He loved it. He loves the fact that people are suffering. And then he laughed and he walked away. And then I'm like, you mother effer. I can't believe you. There are people like that all over the country. We have Nazis all over this country. I'm telling you, straight up Nazis. I didn't fish at all. It's getting dark, so I come back to the safety. Yeah. So like, I feel that Speaker Pelosi has done a really, really good job of normalizing what's happened. Because people aren't feeling the urgency. They don't feel the terror of the people who are in those concentration camps, the suffering. They don't feel it. They don't even know about it. Pelosi's done a fantastic job of normalizing everything. You know, oh look, they ignore all our subpoenas. It's the graveyard of legislation. He's breaking all these laws. Well, as Speaker Pelosi, we're just going to keep on trucking. We're going to keep passing our laws and wonder why they're not passing the Senate. Oh well. And we're not going to hold these guys in contempt. We'll vote on it, but we're not going to actually do anything. We just act normal. Things are normal. Just be normal, guys. No! Things are not normal. Things are messed up. This is really, really bad. I can't believe people are out there acting as if things are normal. Things are awful. Okay, so the other thing is that this fascism, you have to understand, it's a war. It's a war, and it's a war in our brains. It's a war that's going on right now. It's all around you, this war. And if you can't see it, then you can't see it. But I see it happening, and I see it spread. I always wondered how old people could become so evil. I mean, not evil, but they become like, they just turn into like fascist robots. I'm like, how do old people turn into fascist robots? Like, you would think that if you saw this happening to your parent, you would do something about it and try to avert it. You know, and I thought there'd be no way. Like, I guard my parents, there's no way. Well, I was talking to my parents, my mom, and she was telling me about something she watched on The View. She watched on The View a story, some guy who said the Democrats used to be the party for the people, but now they're not. They're for the rich. And my mom said, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that sentiment. So I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, so what was the last piece of legislation that the Republicans passed? Since the Republicans are the party for the people and the Democrats are for the party for the rich. So what was the last legislation that the Republicans passed? She's like, I don't know. I told her, oh, it was the tax cuts for the rich that exploded our deficit and our debt, but the rich made out really good. What was the last piece of legislation passed by the House, by the Democrats? She's like, I don't know. Well, Nancy Pelosi just showed you this giant list of bills they passed to help protect the election, to help make equal pay for women, to protect voting rights, all these things, which are all, pro-people. And she's like, oh, I didn't know any of that. But yet she repeats the talking points. See, that's how it seeps in. It's little by little, little by little. And then she was telling me about how she doesn't like how all these gay people come out. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And she was like, yeah, I can't say anything. I can't say my opinion about gay people. Otherwise, it's a hate crime. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. We're getting our terms mixed up here. A hate crime is a very specific thing when you do a crime and it's motivated by hate. Like, saying your opinion is not a hate crime. It may be distasteful. It may be a bad opinion. You may get attacked for your opinion, but it's not illegal. And then she's like, yeah, well, fine. I can't say what I really feel like. I'm like, what do you feel? She's like, I feel that gay people aren't right, that it's not right. I've been working with this woman for like years, and she still says this. So I'm like, sure, okay. Why don't you go to God and tell God that he keeps messing up? God, why do you keep doing this? My mom needs to go tell God, sit God down and tell God, God, you're doing everything wrong. I created humans a certain way, and God, you're not doing it right. You keep messing up over and over and over again, God. And when they come down here and you don't do it right, it's up to us humans, to fix your mistake. You keep making these gay people and us humans have to fix God's mistakes. Ooh, that's pretty hubris. Right? And it's easy for me, right? Because God made me this way too. I must be a freak. My mom must think I'm a freak. God messed up, right, Mom? She messed up making me. God messed up making me. You better tell God she keeps messing up. Well, no, I reject that. I am not a mess up. I'm exactly as God intended. And so is everyone else. You need no intervention from man. But yeah, that was crazy. Like, so bit by bit, fascism creeps into the brain. By tricking. And like, maybe it's different for older people. I don't know. But man, for years I've been talking to her about this, and she just will not let it go. She's like, there's this part in the Bible, Jesus doesn't say it, but someone said it in the Bible. And I'm sticking with what this random person said in the Bible, not Jesus. And I'm going to condemn all gay people because what this random person in the Bible said, who's not Jesus. But yeah, I'll call myself a Christian. I call myself a Christian because I don't listen to Jesus. I listen to other people. Ah! That breaks my head. Alright, this island's pretty lit up. Let me go to the other island. That moon's bright. Oh yeah, look at this nonsense. This is Monster Island. Oh wow. Monster Island. Let me clear some of this out so I can go try to find zombies. There's a witch over there. Listen, here. I think it's clear. I can handle zombies. I don't want to handle skeletons. Look at all these zombies. Oh, there's a bunch of skeletons. I better get my shield up. Alright. No, I want a villager zombie, dude. Haha. There's a zombie over there. Come on, I need villager zombies. Oh, look at this good stuff. Get rid of this. The sword helps a lot. If I can kill them in 3 hits, it's a lot faster than like the whatever hits it took with the stone sword. I didn't see any of the right kind of zombies. Oop. So yeah, you gotta have this armor, dude, is necessary. Otherwise, I'd be dead a long time ago. Oh no! That's a big fat hole there. Alright, no more zombies for the moment. But I got a big fat hole now. Look at a hole! Look at right underneath it, you can see the ravine that was right under here. Oh man. We got a little bit of dirt. Well, there's a big hole there now. Great. But you see, I would have died a long time ago if it wasn't for all this armor. That armor and those enchantments make a huge difference. Sugar, nope. Glass bottles. Hey, check that out. Let's see. That. That's good enough. Give me some dirt. Yeah. And then once I get this done, I'll go back to talking again. Yeah, that's what these little things are here. It goes down to the ravine underneath. No joke. Okay. Go back to this room. And then here's another one further down. Okay, so fascism creeping into my mom bit by bit, just because of how it exists in our society, how it's encoded within our society. I'll give you another example of it. So I was at the Saturday market holding my sign, standing next to the Nazis who are holding their sign. Their sign says, "Let's return to the Bill of Rights." So that's like, when you look at it, it's like, what does that even mean? And like, it bothered me. That sign bothered me for a long time, but I was never able to figure it out until just now. I just figured out why I hate that sign so much. Their sign is basically saying all lives matter. That's what their sign says. I mean, it doesn't say all lives matter, but what it says is, let's return to the Bill of Rights. But when you talk to them about, well, what do you mean return to the Bill of Rights? They're primarily concerned with free speech, because free speech allows Nazis to spread their propaganda. Right? They don't actually believe in the liberal value of free speech, but they like to use it for power. So I was standing next to these guys, these old white guys, that hold their sign saying, let's return to the Bill of Rights. But they don't really mean the Bill of Rights for minorities, for women, for migrants, for refugees. They don't really care about the Bill of Rights for them. They're talking about the Bill of Rights for old white men to talk about what they want to talk about, which is Nazism. Like my mom mentioned, right? She said, oh, I can't even talk about how I hate gay people. Well, yeah, dude, because it's fascist to say that. So these old white guys holding their sign that says, let's return to the Bill of Rights, what they mean is, let's go back to the time when we can be openly racist, is what they're saying. And I hate it. Just like how the all lives matter sign is a negation of the Black Lives Matter sign. Because the reason why Black Lives Matters, that people say Black Lives Matters, is because obviously when you look out there, the way society treats Black lives, they treat Black lives as if they don't matter. That's why we have to hold a sign saying Black Lives Matters, because they do, despite the way society treats you. Then for a white guy to come up and be like, all lives matter, dude, all lives matter. They're ignoring the fact that Black lives are being killed, are being wasted. They ignore that to say the feel good of all lives matter, right? Oh. It's a negation. So by them saying let's return to the Bill of Rights, they're negating everyone else's struggle. And so I was standing next to these guys holding my sign, which is totally opposite. It's very clear, very out in the open. There's no hiding for me, right? I'm very open about what I'm about. So it's easy to attack me because I'm right there. Right? I'm not hiding. So it's easy to walk by and shout stuff at me. It's so easy to do that. But for these guys who are hidden, right? These are Nazis, but their sign keeps them hidden. Because you have to go and talk to them and let them talk to you for a while before you can suss out the fact that they're Nazis. And only if you're good at being able to do that. If you're not like attuned to being able to pick out Nazis, you're not going to notice it. And they're going to like slowly put their hooks in you to pull you into Nazism, into fascism. So I'm standing there holding my sign. And a crypto Nazi comes up and tries to talk to me. He's like, oh, free speech. I like free speech. Your sign. Tell me, what do you think we should do? And I'm like, well, I think I really like Elizabeth Warren. And he's like, oh yeah, well, both sides are the same. They're both bad. I'm like, no. Obviously, if we look at the records here, we can see that one side is promoting democracy and the other side is not. And he said, no, they're all corrupt. It doesn't matter what you're saying. They're all, that solution's wrong. I'm like, oh, well then I don't want to talk to you anymore. Because, like, you're trying to both sides. You're trying to get me to agree with you that both sides are the same and that there's no point to even trying. That's what you're trying to do. Trying to get me to say, oh yeah, both sides are the same. It doesn't matter. I shouldn't even be out here. Why am I even holding this sign? Both sides are the same. I should just give up. No, I'm not buying it. So I got angry because this guy was trying to do this to me. And I'm like, I'm not talking to you. And he got mad at me. He's like, oh, I thought you were about free speech. I thought you wanted to do free speech. Oh, I guess not. And so he went and talked to the Nazis. And then they were buddy-buddy. Like, oh yeah, we love free speech. Oh yeah. So yeah, it's pretty easy. Pretty easy to see what's going on. So that's another example of how Nazis move amongst society in a hidden manner to keep themselves hidden so they don't get attacked. And I don't have that luxury. I have to be out because they took control of the government. So, like, no more hiding for me. I gotta just be out there. I mean, I kind of had to hide when I lived in Nevada and I was surrounded by white supremacists, but I don't have to hide anymore. I can't hide anymore. So you have to look at it. See, this is their attack. The both sides, the cynicism, the both sides are the same. Just give up. Don't even try. Don't even bother. That is an attack. Putin wants Americans to give up on their democracy and their ideals, because that's what. If you want to know what makes Americans special, it's not that Americans are exceptional because we're just magic people. No. The one thing that makes Americans different from all the other societies, the old world societies, is that we believe in our ideals. We believe in our ideals so much that we go out there and make it happen. We defend them. We fight for them. So for this person to come by and tell me to my face, oh, your ideals are worthless, that makes me angry. And that's exactly the kind of attack, the fascist attack, that Putin is engaging in our society right now. And I know it's true because my mom did it to me. I was telling my mom about my adventures at the Saturday market, and she started repeating the fascist talking points. Oh yeah, both sides are the same. This person on the TV said Democrats don't help people, so I guess he's right. And like all sorts of stuff. And then she's like, why do you do that? Don't you care what other people think about you? That, aren't you gonna care that other people think you're crazy? So what are you saying? I shouldn't do it because I'm afraid of what people think about me? Yeah, see, that's another attack. That's an attack. Oh yeah, what you're doing is not valid. You should. It's funny because a fascist said the same thing to me. A fascist said the same thing to me. Oh yeah, you should go do something else. Enjoy your life. Don't protest out here against fascism. Just act like as if things were normal and just go out and live your life. No, things are not normal. I'm not gonna do that. And then my mom repeats the same attack against me. I couldn't believe it. Can't believe it. So yeah, and the other thing she said to me is, why do you care so much about other people's problems? Yeah, why? That's weird. Why would I care about other people's problems? Who would do something like that? What kind of idiot cares about other people's problems? Man. I'm sorry, it gets to me, sometimes it gets to me. Like I'm not Superman. Yeah, so that's what's going on. So we have a huge challenge in front of us. And that is to take back control of the government, because right now the fascists control it. The Republicans are obviously on team fascist because, they're all about it. They don't want to protect our elections. They don't really mind that if you take assistance from foreign governments. Trump came out and said, sure, I would take assistance from foreign governments. I would love that, because he already did. Ah, man. So you got to know we're in a bad situation. We're in a bad place here in the United States. Our people are not being protected. Our people are not receiving enough money, enough energy to live, because it's being sucked up by the rich, by the most wealthy people. And they're not being taken care of because their healthcare is too expensive, and it's becoming outrageous. Insulin is stupid expensive when it doesn't have to be. There's no reason why people should be dying because they can't afford insulin. That's stupid. That's just dumb. We're the wealthiest country in the world. The wealthiest country in the world. Why is it our people are dying because they can't afford medicine? What kind of crazy nonsense is that? You know, something's wrong. Don't you see? Something's wrong. And you can't act as if things are normal. Everyone telling you to act normal is your enemy. Everyone telling you to act normal is trying to normalize the fascist takeover. And you can't let them. You can't let them normalize it. You cannot let this be normal. You have to maintain your state of outrage and alarm and of danger, because that's what we're in. We're in a state of danger. I mean, the dude's trying to send us to war. That's pretty dangerous. So here, let's see some examples of this. Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She was the press secretary for Donald Trump. It was Sean Spicer, but he quit because, I don't know, he couldn't lie enough. But Sarah Huckabee Sanders had no problem lying. She lies all the time. She totally lied. She was lying, the number one liar. She was like the liar spokesperson for the Trump administration. And so for a while, the press was dumb, and they just ate her lies, and they repeated it. The press was so stupid. But they just repeated her lies. And after a while, they started catching on to it. They started like calling her out on these lies. So what did she do? Did she stop lying? No! Instead, she just stopped giving press conferences. She was like, I don't like it when people call me out on my lies, so I'm just not going to talk to them anymore. So she retired. She's going to quit. She resigned. And she was worthless because she didn't do anything for like 3-4 months. She just stopped giving press conferences. She was making money for doing nothing. Come on, guy. Screw it. Oh wait, there's a creeper there. Oh, there's like 2 creepers. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Oh, don't blow up. Oh, he blew up. Oh man. This mess all the time. I used to like have the hardest time finding slimes on Bedrock because they just never appeared on Bedrock. But here on they appear all the time in Java. So it's way easier. I'm gonna make more slime machines because I have access to slime now. It's amazing. I might even make a slime farm. Yeah, that was nuts. Oh, that was gnarly. Oh, look at all that. That was crazy. Any more zombies? Looking for the zombies. There's one in there. Oh, 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 oh. All right. a zombie right there. Ha ha ha! Death comes for ya! Here, shoot this creeper. No, he blew up! So that's the problem with creepers, man. They just wreck everything. Like dirt. Oh no. Look at this! I leave for 2 seconds and like... Oh crap. I'm not healing anymore. I need to eat food. Oh no! Hey, I didn't know that. I can put them in boats. I wonder if you can do that with everybody. Where's my boat? And this is a lot more hardcore than I'm used to on Minecraft. I thought this was a kid's game, man. What's going on? Yay! Get in there, creeper. Yeah, this is how you get creepers. Golden sunshine shines across the jailhouse. I know because I see him in the window. Judge's chambers I see. Anyways, okay. Nice. So I can catch... I didn't know that. I can catch monsters in boats. I wonder if I can catch zombies that way too. Ooh, do I have any name tags? I can make a record DJ. Hey, Mr. DJ. Nice, that's great. All right, but here the problem is that it's daytime. I need to do this at night. Uh-oh. Get rid of the junk. Look at this junk. I don't need spider eyes. I don't need bones. Low on arrows there, huh? Got plenty. Got plenty of arrows. I got arrows for days. I will shoot you. Okay, I'll come back here later. So, Sarah Sanders Huckers, she's leaving. Huckers, Huckleby, she's leaving. Thank goodness. She's an awful, horrible liar. But what's the other thing? Oh yeah, on Facebook. On Facebook, I saw some woman talk about how there's only 2 genders. There's only two genders. Some old woman's like, there's only two genders. I'm like, that's crazy. How can, I mean, like, if your mind is so small that you can only imagine two genders, okay, I mean, if that's what your mind can conceive of, that's fine. But you are not allowed to use your mental limitations and impose them on other people. If you cannot conceive of more than two genders, then that's your fault. It's not everyone else's problem. That's your problem. Because remember, gender is socially constructed. It's a social construct. That means all of society has come together to agree about certain roles for certain things, and not even agree upon it. It's just that's the way it is. Society like implements that kind of situation. And then so perhaps in the old hunter-gatherer days, yes, we had a division of labor that went along gender lines or along sex lines. However, those, if you look at the Native American populations, those were not set in stone. If like, there are plenty of people who are two-spirit people, who both carried the spirit of male and female, and there would be men who would gather berries, and there would be women who were warriors and go out and fight wars. I mean, that's the way it was in Native American culture. So we have this invader idea coming in, this from overseas, this idea, this stupid limitation of only two genders, of Western, of Judeo-Christian idea of what genders there are. And people are trying to impose that on other people. And you can't do it, dude. You can't do it. You cannot put your mental limitations on other people. Gender is a social construct. You can imagine as many genders as possible you can think of. Because there's no thing that determines your gender. There's nothing physical about you that determines your gender. Your gender is what you choose and what society puts on you. Now, sex, that's a different thing. That's biological. But even that is not clear-cut. Because you have all sorts of anomalies. Like, I am an anomaly. It happens. So even sex isn't a 1-0, on-off proposition, either or. Even sex is not clear-cut. But people want to deny rights to people based on their mental limitations. And yeah, that's just dumb. You cannot stop other people from being who they are. Not justly, not with any justice. You can do it, but justice won't be happy. Joy to the world, really? Come on. Alright guys, I've been blabbering for like an hour, so sorry for being late. I had a massive migraine. I apologize. I'm done puking. We're in a strange time. You need to please call your representative. Nancy Pelosi is not a leader. She's a manager. So she will not move for impeachment until she gets 50% of the 50% of the House members. If you can get a Republican to do it, great. But she won't move until she gets most of the House to go with her. She won't do it. She has to be forced to act. She won't act. She's not a leader. She's a manager. So we have to get a groundswell of people calling in to tell our representatives what we want. And I think that's really important. That people exercise their democracy. That's what it is, right? You have to exercise democracy. Democracy is not just voting. Democracy is going out there and engaging with your fellow citizens, and it's learning about these issues and these ideas that we're trying to push forward. Because remember, we are a people of ideas. We're Americans. What makes us special is that we believe in ideals. So you need to study these ideals, and you need to advocate for them, and you need to fight for them. You need to be active. Democracy is not a passive thing. If you want to be passive, you want a dictatorship. And there's a lot of people who want a dictatorship. And it's kind of scary. They're Americans, but they weren't taught right. So, but yeah. So contact your rep. If you do anything this week, call your rep. Tell them you want impeachment. Save those kids in the concentration camps. Save those orphans. Don't make more orphans. All right, America. I'm sorry. Happy Father's Day. Like, I didn't even talk about Father's Day. I'm sorry. Dads, you're awesome. You're awesome, dads. I have a dad. He was great. He is great. Like, dads have problems too, right? Dads aren't Supermen. They try, and they fail a lot. And I think because they're human, right? We all fail. But it's through the failures that we learn. If we didn't fail, we'd never learn. So dads, hang out, hang on, dads, hang out, like, hang in there. We love you. Thank you for doing everything you do. Even if you're not biological, thank you for doing what you do. You don't even know how much you mean to kids. You don't even know, but it's a lot. All right, America, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a very good day. Peace. Stop streaming.